Welcome to day 13 of Multifaceted Mama Diaries. Oh no, I hope I'm not waking her. Let's see. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to this vlog series where it's just real raw footage up close and personal of me. Mom, I am also a high-level mentor for parents and entrepreneurs. I provide leadership coaching, consulting. I'm a speaker. I'm also a best-selling author. I'm also a psychotherapist. I'm also a woman and a minority and a wife, and so on and so forth, right? Hence the multifaceted part, because we're all multifaceted, aren't we? And oftentimes we struggle to embrace all of those facets of ourselves and trying to figure out how to incorporate them in a way that honors each and every part of us while also allowing for healthy boundaries in various parts of our lives and the various roles and responsibilities that we carry. It's one of those things that a lot of people struggle with, especially women, especially moms. And so here I am, challenging myself to just show up here and do this little social experiment, this little personal challenge, and just see where it takes me, see where it goes. And I have to tell you, I have been awake, I don't know, since like 2 o'clock this morning or something like that. Not because it's not like I'm tired and I need to go back to sleep, but because I decided to get out of bed because I woke up and I was just like, there were so many things going on in my mind, not of overwhelm, or like insomnia, not like that, but of just these like insights and inspirations. And that happens to me actually a lot, where I get these bursts of insights and inspirations. Um, and it's like, I know it's good stuff, and I know it's stuff that I want to share with the world, whether it's through my businesses, or just through other relationships that I have, or as a mom, as a partner, like. And then my question often is, how do I get it out? Right? Like, how do I, this is the challenge that I would say comes up for me often, is how do I express my wisdom, my insights, my inspirations in a coherent, poignant way where it's going to be not just of benefit to myself, but also benefit to others, to the world, to whomever, right? To whomever is asking, who's wanting to be in receipt of what I have to share. Because that's how we all learn and grow in some ways, right? We learn and grow through our experiences, and then we also can learn and grow from each other in relationship. And as we share our own stories, our own insights, our own inspirations, that can spark something in someone else. And there's so much power in that, especially when those insights and inspirations are coming from this place of passion and purpose and just true and real and raw, like not fabricated, not fluffy, right? Like it's just like you feel that power in it. So I woke up and came downstairs and I started writing. And writing is something that is such an amazing outlet. It is my gratitude for this vlog today, this video today, to have that outlet of writing and to choose to take the time to actually use it, right? Like, I mean, anyone can have the outlet of writing if they know how to write, but are we taking the time to use it in an effective way, in a helpful way, in a way that's not like productive as far as like getting stuff done, but productive as far as like allowing it to be a vehicle for our passion and purpose to flow through, allowing it to be a vehicle for our focus to become more and more clear, right? Because the more intentional we are about where we focus, the more clear we can get over time about whatever it is that we've got going on in our minds. And so that's what I did this morning. And I just kind of let that that passion flow onto the page. And then I paused after a little bit and I was like, I want to share at least one of these right now. And so what I did was I chose to create my first ever intentional reel on my business Instagram, Bold and Balanced Coaching. And I've never intentionally created a reel with like voiceover and numerous captions with like lining up with music. Like I've never done any of that before. In part because I've had no desire to learn new technology for quite a while. And then also because there's other technology that I had learned over the years. So that was one part. And then also like, I don't really like to jump on the bandwagon of things for the sake of jumping on the bandwagon. So just because other people are doing a lot of that, like reels on Insta or like TikTok or things like that, like I don't want to do that just because it's a fad, like just because it's a thing. I only want to invest my time and effort and energy into it if I feel inspired to do it. And this is the first time where I really felt inspired to do that. So I took one of my passions of insight that I had written this morning and I made a reel out of it. And it took me hours. And at a moment, I caught myself at a moment after a couple hours, I was about to be like, why am I spending hours doing this? And then in that moment, as I noticed that I was thinking that, I was like, I am so glad that I am investing this time in learning how to do this, because all of this time, for quite a while, I've been asking the question, how can I share more of my passionate insight? How can I share more of my wisdom? How can I share more of my gold nuggets? I have books, notebooks full, documents in my Google Drive full of insights, of inspiration, of wisdom, of experiences that I want to share. And some have been shared in, sessions with particular clients. Some have never been shared because I wasn't sure how to share them, in what medium I wanted to use to share them in. Some have been shared, but kind of like in back channels, so they haven't reached a ton of people. Some have been shared here on YouTube in my more like content specific videos. Some have been shared in some of my courses, but there's still so much, so much. And I want to have an avenue that feels good to me to share it in. And pursuing the reels thing, it up until now just did not feel good to me until it did. And so I followed that and I made my first ever like intentionally created reel. And I talked about something that's really important to me and really connected with all of the work that I do in my mission and embracing the multifacets of ourselves around service, and how so often we all, women especially, but men, I've seen this in men as well, we feel like we have to serve. We feel like we have to give. It's like obligatory or selfish not to do it. It's like there's a should that's attached to it, right? And so what that does is when we give or we serve or we lead from that space of we must, we have to, we should, from a place of obligation or force or heaviness or pressure or burden, that only leads to exhaustion, frustration, bitterness over time. That's what it leads to. It leads to negative feelings over time. It backfires. It backfires, right? And I say this with certainty. And so service is not the goal for the sake of service. What we want to do is serve from a place of desire. I'm desiring to share this right now. I'm desiring to give this right now. I'm desiring to serve in this way right now. I'm inspired to do this, to be this, to share this. I'm excited to share this. I want to give from my place of overflow. That's a whole different experience. And when we do that, when we serve, when we give, when we lead from that place, it changes the game, because it's no longer a game. It's just connected to our purpose. It's just connected to our passion. It's just connected to our way of life. And it feels good and it perpetuates good. It can seem so nuanced. The reason why I'm serving matters. Heck yeah. Heck to the yes. And I can tell you, because service is important to me. But when I was serving because I felt I had something to prove, or because I felt I had to, or because I felt I'd only be accepted if I did, or because I felt da 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 da, when I served from a place of pressure or force or fear or challenge, internal challenge, because I'm not talking about challenging in order to grow. I'm talking about challenge because I felt force, internal force, like I had to, or I should, or obligation, right? Like a heavy responsibility rather than an empowering opportunity. When I served from that place, I burnt out. I struggled with anxiety and depression. Now, when I serve, I tap into myself to make sure that I'm serving or giving or leading from a place of desire, that I'm wanting to do this, that I'm choosing to do this because it feels good to me, it feels inspiring to me, it feels exciting to me, it feels my passion, it feels connected to my purpose. Like, yes, it's a different reason to serve, a different way to serve, and a different experience with serving. And so I created a reel to reflect that. It's not a perfect reel. That's cool. I'm okay with that. It's a little choppy. It's cool. I'm okay with that. But it is my first ever intentionally created reel. And it shares golden nuggets that I know thousands, at the very least, thousands upon thousands, need to hear. Some will be receptive and ready to welcome it in, and some won't be. But all of this came, the answer to my how am I going to share more and more my wisdom, or at least part of the answer. And I'm not saying that Insta Reels are going to be the only way I do that, because I really enjoy coming on YouTube. Last year is when I discovered that YouTube is one of the places where I feel I can share in connection to my passion and purpose in a really authentic way. It feels good to me to come on YouTube and share in this way. So I do that. Right? But I knew that there was more. I knew that there were other avenues where I could do that, because video, audio, music, and written word are all ways that I enjoy expressing the gifts and the wisdom and what I want to share. So I think I've touched all of our outline of the challenge, the good, the gratitude, the growth. I didn't talk about the growth. So one area where I want to continue to grow in is continuing to tap in to what I want and what I need at any given period of time without doubting myself too much. And I say that because when I woke up this morning around 2:00 or so, in the past, I have at times done one of two things. There have been times when I have listened to that still small voice in my head that says, get up. Get up. There's something for you to share. There's something for you to do right now, which I did this morning, right? But the other thing that I've done in the past and continue to still do sometimes is when I wake up like that, I'll kind of second guess myself and third guess myself and fourth guess myself. Like, I'll doubt myself, like, should I get up or should I sleep? And that's an okay question to ask initially, right? But like when you're asking that question over and over again for like an hour or two or three, and you're still not falling back asleep, but you also still haven't gotten up, like that is a state of indecisiveness that is exhausting, not productive, doesn't feel good, right? And I've done that. Now I'm offering myself grace around that because, I have just had a baby not that long ago. She's only a few months old. And so there definitely were times when it merited me, like when I woke up, it's like, nope, time to go back to sleep. But then I went back to sleep. If I am like, oh, should I go back to sleep? Should I wake up? Should I go back to sleep? Should I wake up? Should I go back to sleep? Like that state of indecisiveness that goes on for hours, you just got to decide, right? Like that's an area I want to continue to grow in because I'm so grateful that this morning I listened to it and I got the heck up. Timing is not ours to control in this universe. Timing is not ours to control in this universe. Alignment is. Tapping into our deeper knowing and our intuition, that is up to us to do. And when we do that, then the universe is able to support us in such a more powerful way. And by the universe, I mean the life force, the source, the God that is all creator of all life, of all life, of all light, of all love, right? And so I feel like in some ways that could sound like I went off on a tangent, but it's all connected, right? And since this is my vlog, I get to say what I want. And if you decide to do the same and create your own vlog, you get to say what you want. And you get to express yourself. You need a space to express yourself openly, honestly, authentically, and raw. Maybe yours isn't on YouTube like mine is right now. And trust me, I have boundaries. I'm not sharing everything here, but I am sharing intentionally here. And I'm so glad. So glad, so much appreciate that I listened to that still small voice and I woke up and I allowed myself space to express and I tuned in, I tapped in, I felt the inspiration and I responded. Who knows what's going to happen with that reel? I don't know. I'm not attached to the outcome. But I enjoyed the journey and I've learned something from it. It has sparked an additional flame within me. And that nothing can substitute for that. So if you're coming along on this journey with me, I would love to hear from you. What's been sparking for you? Or what hasn't been, and where do you want to feel a spark? Maybe are you listening to that still small voice, no matter what time it calls? Something to think about. Till next time.